Everyone loves a home run. Exit velocity, launch angle, 450-foot bombs. That's the stuff of highlights. But what if I told you the most important offensive skill in baseball wasn't just power? What if it was knowing what to, and not, to swing at? In today's video, we're exploring plate discipline, the skill that gets far less hype, but might be the single best separator between good hitters and great ones. We'll break down how teams are modeling swing decisions internally, why chase rate is becoming a core stat, the K to walk ratio and its link to WAR, and real player examples of how tightening strike zone control leads to real offensive gains. So what is plate discipline really? At its core, plate discipline is the ability to recognize pitches and make smart decisions. Don't chase, don't expand the zone, and don't give pitchers free outs. The most commonly tracked metrics are Z-swing, the percent of swings on pitches inside the strike zone; O-swing, or chase rate, which is the percentage of swings on pitches outside the strike zone; meatball swing percentage, the percentage of swings down the heart of the plate; walk percentage, which is just your walk rate, and your K percentage, which is just your strikeout rate; and your K to walk ratio, a simple but powerful indicator of plate control. A hitter with great discipline forces pitchers to throw more strikes, use their best stuff early in counts, and it often makes pitchers fall behind in counts. And when a good swing decision hitter gets a mistake, that's when the damage happens. The hitters with the best plate discipline don't just swing at every pitch in the zone. They know what areas of the zone they can best do damage. So in hitters' counts, they may take a pitch on the edge that they can't do much with. But all of that discipline eventually leads to a walk or a hard hit ball. So even if they don't hit, they get on base. That's why you see hitters with a .240 batting average, but a .370 OBP and a 3.5 WAR season. In the minds of analysts, OBP is more important than average, and plate discipline fuels OBP. Ask Billy Beane. It helped fuel their takeover of a major market inefficiency in the league. That inspired the book and movie Moneyball. Check out my video on that, linked here. How teams track it. Let's talk about swing decision models. Behind the scenes, MLB teams aren't just looking at walks and strikeouts. They're building full swing decision models using pitch location, count leverage, a pitch's velocity and movement, and expected outcomes if a player swings at each individual pitch. In other words, teams now evaluate not just what a player did, but what they chose to do, and how optimal it was. We have built a similar system internally here at PSU to help train our hitters' swing decisions. You can see here a player's decisions throughout an entire season. On the top, we have his swings. In the bottom, it's his takes, broken up each by pitch group. Blue is bad and red is good. Like I mentioned before, this system is a bit more complicated than just swinging at pitches in the zone and taking pitches out of the zone. If a hitter takes a 3-1 fastball right down the middle, they're going to get penalized. The model takes into account simply the decision of swinging or not, the pitch type, and the count/out state. So even if a guy takes a 2-0 hack on a pitch way out of the strike zone that squeaks down the line for a double, he will be penalized for a poor decision, even with the good result. We want our guys to play the game, but we can use this tool to detect trends and help our guys make better decisions over the course of a season. A good process equals long-term success, and swing decisions are now a core component of a player evaluation and player development. Next, let's talk about something a little bit more simple, the K to walk ratio. Want a quick plate discipline readout? Check the K to walk ratio. It's a simple way to track a guy's results when it comes to his swing decisions. It tells you, is this hitter patient enough to walk, and is he making enough contact to avoid constant Ks? A K to walk ratio above 0.6 is solid, and above 1 is elite. Players like Alex Bregman, Jose Ramirez, and Steven Kwan thrive with elite K to walk ratios, even if they're not smashing 40 homers every year. Let's talk development. Julio Rodriguez cut his O swing year over year, leading to more walks and better pitch selection. And that eventually has led to more homers on better pitches to hit. Jared Walsh made a leap by narrowing his zone, laying off spin, and getting more fastballs. Lamont Wade Jr., a quiet OBP monster with elite discipline, despite lower power output. These aren't just isolated cases. Tightening the strike zone transforms hitters, even more than adding power. Being more selective is objectively harder to pitch to, as long as that hitter does damage when he does decide to swing on a pitch. So how does this play into WAR and roster value? Plate discipline affects walks, which will raise your OBP. Fewer strikeouts means more balls in play. Better contact, which equates to higher slugging. And pitcher fatigue, longer at bats and more bullpen exposure can help your team win. All of that, it adds up in WAR, weighted runs created plus, and overall team success. Taking a pitch and a leverage count isn't always flashy, but plate discipline wins at bats, and that wins games. One of the most consistent truths in player development is this: plate discipline is one of the few skills that remains relatively stable across levels. While exit velocity, power, and even batting average can fluctuate, a hitter's ability to recognize spin, avoid chasing, laying off pitches just outside the zone, tends to hold steady from high school to college to the minors to Major League Baseball, even as the stuff gets better that they're facing. That's why college recruiters and pro scouts pay close attention to walk rate versus strikeout rate, and high school showcase stats, zone discipline, and even swing decision specific metrics gathered via in-house tech or services. A high school player who consistently forces pitchers to throw strikes has a better chance to adjust at the next level. So if you're a young hitter looking to stand out, start by mastering your strike zone, because the best swing is often the one you don't take. Even if you're not in the bigs, you can still level up your game with tools like Pitch Logic, the smart baseball that lets pitchers track spin rate, movement, and release points. Understand what tough pitches actually look like? Check out the link at the top of the description to learn more and get an edge that front offices are looking for. In a game that becomes faster, sharper, and more data-driven, plate discipline has emerged as one of the most valuable offensive skills in all of baseball. It doesn't make highlight reels like a 450-foot homer does, but the ability to control the strike zone influences everything, from OBP and slugging to pitch counts and bullpen usage. Players who master it get better pitches to hit, strike out less, walk more, and ultimately help their teams win more games. From big league stars like Juan Soto and Mookie Betts to high school hitters trying to catch a scout's eye, the lesson is the same. Great hitters don't just hit, they make great decisions. Whether you're trying to increase your WAR or just stay in the lineup, learning to swing at the right pitches might be the most underrated edge in all of baseball. If you learned something today, check out our other videos on WOBA, ex-WOBA, and swing path metrics to understand even more about modern hitting. And let me know down in the comments, who's the most underrated plate discipline guy in the league today? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Simple Sabermetrics.